What life lesson did you have to learn the hard way? You think you are tough, but if life wants to, it can duck you up in an instant. Same with nature/weather events. Once you realize how insignificant you are in comparison with something like a flash flood or a riptide, it makes you realize how completely incapable you are to fight it. Plus, it'll kill you in 1,000 sneakier ways, like skin cancer. Just because you're family doesn't mean they love you. It's a hard thing to think about, but honestly some friends are more family than family. I'm just glad I grew up with a relatively kind family. Death is a part of life just like everything else. Is it abnormal if I'm not significantly moved by deaths of people close to me? Yup. Sometimes friendships won't last a lifetime, and you have to let them go. I'm learning this right now. It sucks. Good luck. Remember, it can take a while to adjust and know that you'll always have someone there for you, whether it's family or a random person on the internet. I hope you have a good day. Cut a slit in the potato before baking it. Otherwise, the potato may explode in the oven or when you stick a fork into it. Same with egg yolk. You cut slits in your egg yolks? Sometimes, people just don't like you despite your best efforts. Sometimes long-term friends will turn for seemingly no reason. OMG this. Twice I've lost people I thought were good, close friends, people I loved and thought they loved me back, and I have no idea why. That shit hurts. I ghosted a group of friends because I realized just that. They are probably wondering the same thing. If you don't take good care of your teeth when you're in your teens/20s, guess what? Your teeth will be ducked for the rest of your life. And that shit is both uncomfortable and expensive. This carrot or be in the spot where insurance covers 1/10 of the cost for treatment. Sometimes relationships don't work out, no matter how hard you try. That's what I call fate. But not everyone believes in that. Condoms are cheaper than children. I'll elaborate and say that every form of birth control is cheaper than children. Story: I told a friend that I paid out of pocket for my IUD. I think it was around $600. This was pre-ACA. She was shocked that I would spend that much. I was pretty poor at the time, and so was she. It was hard for me to pay, but I made it happen. I pointed out that paying $60 a month for the pill would be more expensive, since I knew I didn't want to get pregnant for at least the next 2 years. So it was comparably a bargain. I just had to pay upfront rather than monthly. She used the rhythm method because she wanted to save money. I was not surprised when she had an unplanned baby. You can do everything right and things can still not work out the way you wanted. This still gets me. Me too. Don't spend money you don't have to impress people you don't like or don't matter to you. Dave Ramsey has entered the chat. Physical wounds heal, but emotional pain stays forever. I have PTSD and narcissistic victim syndrome from my own father. Same boat. Got 2 mental disorders. But that's not really the worst part. Worst part is how to tell someone, while the disorders you have aren't known at all, or barely. Makes it quite hard. Although my disorders don't really meddle in relationships, or not too much, it does affect things and I lose things I used to love doing. I'm glad I'm not alone. It's affected me so much that I'm afraid to even talk to people in person or ask for help. Don't try and do things by yourself. Get help where you can. The more people the better. Yeah, better with the good people you're sure they care and you love. Not everyone. Even a small lie can ruin a friendship forever. The other person may never confront you about it, but over time I've come to realize that dishonesty is one of, if not, the primary reason relationships are cut. Some people will hurt you. There is nothing you can do to change who they are. They are just assholes. All they know how to do is hurt others. There's an old parable called the scorpion and the frog. The scorpion would love to get across the river, but he can't swim. Every day he thinks about getting to the other side. One day he asks the frog, "Hey, take me across that river. I really want to get to the other side." No way, the frog says. You are an asshole. You will sting me and kill me. I won't sting you, the scorpion said. If I sting you, we will both drown. No way, the frog says. You will sting me. That's what you do to people. Every day the scorpion asks the frog to take him across the river. Every day he says no. Finally one day he breaks down. He decides to take the scorpion across the river. He thinks, well, he probably won't sting me because if we did we both would drown. So he says yes, and the scorpion climbs on his back. Sure enough, halfway across the river, the scorpion stings the frog. God damn it. Why did you do that, asks the frog. Now we are both going to die. As they are sinking, frog cries out one last time. Why the duck did you do that? Because I'm a scorpion. That's what I do. Apostrophe. Username checks out. It's better to be alone than to be with the wrong person. I was so afraid of being alone that I stayed with an abusive partner for years. Once we finally split up, I realized how much happier I was by myself. I feel this to my core. Companies will screw you over in an instant and you should not have loyalty for them. I moved to a new city for my first job out of college. I had very little money and was just starting off. Almost all of my first few paychecks went to paying off some debts. 5 months into the job, and they had a 10% reduction in headcount. 15 people got laid off, including me. My soon-to-be wife had moved to the city with me and was in the same position as me. We were getting married in a month. Suddenly, I was without work, and it had already taken me months to find that job. I had a couple $1,000 and would get 2 more paychecks before my income stopped. That's when I realized that you can't expect a company to care about your situation in life. They didn't care that I was just starting out and trying to gain experience. They didn't care that I had moved to a new city or that I was getting married soon and had no money. I got back on my feet pretty fast. Within a week actually. But those 3 or so days where I was sending out resumes and calling people were grueling. I could see a bleak future on the horizon if I didn't work very hard to prevent it. I'm fortunate that I was able to afford a college education and had a few connections that helped me out. Not everyone is, and that bleak future when the money runs out is gut-wrenching just to think about. I can't imagine the feeling of having to make major life changes because you don't have the money to stay where you're at. I worked for a company for 10 years. I saved their ass a number of times. They allowed and forced me to access an unsafe area, and I fell and injured myself. All I asked was that they could assure me that the area in question would be made safe before another staff member accessed it. They said safety was a difference of opinion. I sued them for a very small sum, just the wages I would have got had I not had to be off with my injury. After I won, they sacked my partner, been there for 6 years, a manager, and my brother, been there 1 year. Although I'll admit he got in through nepotism, and there were gaps in his knowledge. He worked harder than all of us put together. I have no work ethic anymore. I do what is asked of me, and nothing else. It was a massively hard lesson to learn. But at least I can enter my 30s focusing on me, rather than spending any more time thinking I need to represent a company that couldn't even fix a roof for me. I'm sorry to hear your story, especially happening to you so young. I hope you're okay now. The defensive mechanisms I've inadvertently built from being bullied are largely the reason for my own unhappiness and directly obstruct my growth as a person. Unfair AF. But I have to work through it all the same. Yup. You can be mad all you want that life stuck it to you, but that's not going to get you anywhere. It's hard AF, but worth it to let that shit go and start growing again. Don't trust people immediately. They have to earn it. I think it's important to give people some basic level of trust. I wouldn't trust strangers with my wallet, but I would trust them not to kill me on the spot. Everybody deserves a chance. The bigger lesson is to know when to let them go. Not just physically, but mentally too. Life really does go on without you. Wait. How did you learn that the hard way? Probably jail or prison. Tooth decay is a slow and sneaky process. You do not always feel it, and it can get to the point that when you eventually do feel it, it can be very, very bad. Go to the dentist at least once every 2 years to catch it while it is still small. Same with that suspicious looking spot on your arm or leg. The more you love someone, the worse the heartbreak. Sometimes you have to apologize not because you're wrong, but because you have hurt someone unintentionally. That life is more than a love of a partner. That I have a life to grow on my own. We have love of family and friends importantly. And there's a big world out there to work, to care about it. Partnership is sure thing we need as humans, but not the only one. But there's so much to sustain you and make you happy. I really needed to hear this. Thanks. Sometimes it seems like all anyone is doing is looking for a partner. You're welcome. This appreciation was well needed too. Be with someone who wants to be with you, as you truly are. Don't get together with someone with the expectation that you have to be someone you're not, or that you have to change. It's much better to be with someone who accepts you as you are, because chances are, you are already who you are most comfortable being. I was young, met a dude and thought he was my friend. Turns out that he misread my signals, but was pretty depressed. He was close to me, so I thought that I could help him with kindness. But it only broke him down further because of me not being in love with him. The dude is still around. He's just changed in a way that I almost can't recognize him anymore. Lessons learned. You can't force love. You can't heal others for your love. And if there are no mutual romantic feelings, it's the best to just let go. Currently the dude you met, and in similar situation, but I was able to get over the fact I'm keeping at arm's length with her, but still there for her if she needs anything. So far I'm okay, but empty. It sucks, but willing to deal with the pain. Damn. I feel sorry for you, and I hope all the best for you. Credit cards. Just no. Thought I was smart enough to not let it get out of control. Nah, took me years to get out of credit card debt. Such a huge relief to be out of it. Evangelicals have no principles that they won't compromise. The entire USA has learned this the hard way. You forgot about systemic racism though. That's a principle, right? You're right. I missed that. They don't generally talk about that. Ducking married men is a terrible idea. You said a bad word. You're right. I'll never say the word men again. Shut up or you could get hurt. My big mouth ruined a few friendships of mine. And be too quiet and get neglected. But I like being neglected. Only the real friends come to you. Don't rely on that though. It isn't fair to have them be the ones to expend energy reach out to you every time. That not everyone you think is a good friend is actually one. Parents don't always have the best interests of their child at heart. Not everyone that comes into your life has good intentions. Just because you know each other well doesn't mean you're friends. Drugs is bad for you. Took me 10 years while saying I got it under control to finally figure out I lost control a long time ago. Clean for 6 months ATM. Congrats. Keep doing. Don't assume that you instantly know what people are talking about. That those that you love won't always be alive, unfortunately. Car insurance can be expensive. I also learned it can be cheaper for school students if they had good grades. I'm at the center of a very disappointing universe. Letting go of my friendship with longtime friends. I had 3 other good friends in technical college years back. On some level, we maintained contact throughout the years. Then it got lesser during university years. And then when one of them got married, I was invited to the ceremony. After the ceremony, there was a photo session where each group, i.e. family, friends, workplace friends, etc., would take turns to take photos with the couple. And then there was a part where all those who were part of the ceremony organizational team were in it. The groom and the other 2 were there, while I was standing on the side. And that broke me. Maybe, yes. It's probably partly my fault for not contacting them. But whilst I did offer my best wishes, in my heart, It was painful. And I thought to myself it's over. It's no longer 4. It's 3. But that scene, every time I recall it, it stings. It burns. I feel tired, lonely and apathetic. But I came to terms that it was over. The once close friendship we had, I was no longer part of that equation. Some people are creepy and will stop at nothing to fix their horniness. Always follow your instinct. If a situation doesn't feel right, get out of it. Don't cheat on your partner. It can break things in both you and them that you didn't know were there to break. Have some honor. Break up first. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.